Driving a commercial motor vehicle at night, it brings three major common challenges. So one, low lighting, because low light, it makes it harder to see. Then hazards may not be as recognized as quickly, meaning you're not able to really see a hazard as quickly as it is during the day because you can see. And then once you spot a hazard, it's a limited sight area that it leaves less time to respond. So in other words, when you're seeing hazards, or if you see a hazard, it gives you less time to respond to that hazard at night. So the three major factors that you need to be mindful of and aware when you're driving at night is your vehicle or truck, bus, tractor trailer, your vehicle. Two, the road. And then three, you, which is the professional driver or operator. Now, specifically, I'm gonna go ahead and dive in deeper into these three. So when it comes to your vehicle, you want to inspect your vehicle each day before driving and pay close attention to the lights, reflectors, and windshield during your pre-trip inspection, especially when you're driving at night. So you want to make sure that it's clean, your headlights is clean, your low beams, high beams, and make sure that they work and they are properly aimed and positioned. Make sure there's no dirt, dust, or grime on the headlights because that could reduce your ability to actually see at night as much as 50%. So if you see dirt, dust, or grime on your headlights, they'll actually reduce the effectiveness and your ability to visually see as much as 50% of it. So clean your headlights. Then your glass and mirrors. You want to clean your glass and mirrors to make sure you are having enough washer fluid in your reservoir. Make sure that it's no dirt because a little bit of dirt can cause a distracting or a dangerous glare when it's lit up at night. And you do not want that to happen. So make sure you're clean. Clean your glass and mirrors. Then your lights. Make sure all other drivers can see you and know what your attention is. That's for all of your lights. So that's why you want to clean your lights. Make sure that they're in good condition by checking your turn signals, your tail lights and brake lights, your headlights, your marker lights, your clearance lights, and all of your identification lights as well. Now, when you're communicating your presence, when you're communicating at night, it's important to clearly and respectfully communicate and show your intentions by using your turn signals and braking gently more than ever because other drivers may have a hard time seeing your vehicle to really understand your intent. In order to understand what your intention is, it's really important to use your turn signals and braking gently now more than ever, especially at night. So when you're using your lights, the distance you want to have to see in front is actually determined by weather and the effectiveness of your headlights. So how operated and how well your lights are and the distance that you can see in front will determine how effective your vehicle will be at nighttime. So low beams will illuminate or will light up about 250 to 300 feet ahead. So that's about 65 miles per hour. You'll see about 2.5 seconds ahead. So that's a mark to gauge on it. Then with high beams, it will illuminate or light up about 300 to 500 feet ahead. And that'll give you more time to either react or to respond at night, especially if you see a potential hazard. Then you want to switch to low beams when you're within 1,000 to 500 feet of any oncoming vehicle. So high beams can be blind approaching to oncoming drivers. That's why you want to switch to low beams within 1,000 to 500 feet of an oncoming vehicle. Now, if another driver has their high beams on, then you leave your high beams off and try to look at the white line on the right side of the road. That way, it will protect the glare from you looking at it directly at their lights, and it'll keep your vehicle on the road as well. So it's a safety measure to look on the right side, the white line on the road, so that way your vehicle can be on the road while it's not distracting or glaring your eyes. Then you want to set and adjust the inside lights of your cab for nighttime. So that could be by brightening or dimming your dashboard, which is your instrument panel, and keeping that dome light off as well, because that makes a huge difference at night. Then you have your vehicle, which is your truck vehicle. So lights at night, there's some lights at night driving procedures that you need to know. So again, make sure you dim your lights within 500 feet of an oncoming vehicle, dim your lights within 300 to 200 feet when following another vehicle, and when safe and legal to do so, use your high beams, but not within 500 feet of any approaching vehicle. Then for your headlight range, so if you're driving outside the range of your headlights, which is overdriving your headlights, that actually makes it extremely difficult to see hazards ahead of time. That's why you want to adjust your speed so you can be able to stop the vehicle with the range of your headlights. And then overview, 3 vehicle factors to remember. You have headlights, turn signals and brake lights, and windshield and mirrors. Again, headlights, make sure you have your reflectors, clearance lights, marker lights, identification lights, and tail lights. Then you have your turn signals and brake lights. You want to check that your turn signals and stop lights are clean and functional, meaning that they're working properly. And your windshield and mirrors, make sure they're clean. Windshield is both clean inside and outside, and just to make sure that it's clean so that way you can be able to drive safely during nighttime. Then you have the road. The road hazards can be really difficult to spot and see at night. That means you have less time to react. So that's why, therefore, you want to anticipate hazards and know how to really respond appropriately and safely when you see any signs of a potential hazard. With other drivers, there are many, it can be impaired drivers on the road, especially drowsy drivers that are tired or inattentive, not paying attention. And some signs of impaired drivers would be drivers that weave from lane to lane or swerving, moving from lane to lane. Suddenly, they're slowing or stopping. They're stopping without any reason. They're having trouble maintaining or keeping the same speed of the traffic, or they're showing other signs of impaired driving. Now, there are 2 major roadway factors to keep in mind when you're driving at night. You have poor lighting, and then of course drunk drivers. So with poor lighting, you want to slow down when there is poor or confusing lighting, and you want to travel slowly so that way you can be able to stop and avoid a potential hazard. And then you have drunk drivers. So stay alert to them, because at night, especially around closing times, around bars, clubs, or taverns, because drunk drivers do appear at night. So you want to look out for drivers who can't really stay in their lane, or they're not maintaining the speed, or they're showing other signs of driving recklessly, or they're driving under the influence of drugs and or alcohol. Now, also, when driving at night, have to be aware of pedestrians and bicyclists. So you want to watch for people that are walking, jogging, or riding their bikes. Now, they may wear a low visibility, dark clothes that can be extremely difficult to see. So that's why it's important to take your time, notice them ahead of time, and always be prepared to stop. Very important. And with animals, they may be on the move at night. Most likely they will, especially deers. And it's a chance that you'll see them out on the road, or any other animals that's out at night. So you want to drive within your headlight range and keep an eye on both shoulders ahead. So meaning you want to scan all of your surroundings by looking at your reflections of the animal's eyes and the movement along the sides of the road. So that's part of doing your visual scan or your visual sight check or your visual search. Is scanning the area, scanning what is surrounded you, what is surrounding you. And then you have terrain. So terrain is the stretch of land or the area, the terrain. So that can be a hazard at night, because you have the land, the area, you can't really see it at night. So you want to slow down to appropriate speed for the road that you're driving on. And you want to allow yourself time to stop if you see a hazard, or if a hazard appears as you go around a curve, or if you reach the crest or the highest point of that hill. So it's always good to be a defensive driver and anticipate any potential hazards that may appear, especially at night. Then you want to adapt. So you want to adapt, adjust in various conditions depending on where you're driving and the weather. So some areas would be rural areas, urban areas, and the weather. So in rural areas, that depends solely on your vehicle's headlights for lighting. Rural areas consist of out in the country. It's not busy, pretty. It's like road, grass, farms, rural area. Whereas urban areas is the city, downtown traffic, lots of tall buildings. So lighting levels can vary, and your eyes are required to adjust at different levels in urban areas. And then the weather, if weather conditions are reducing your ability, so weather conditions does reduce your visibility on the road, and it slows even more. And last but not least, you as a professional driver and operator. It's important to be aware and recognize your own visual limitations when driving at night. And we all have limitations at some point, especially at night. So make sure your eyes, remember, your eyes have to focus on working harder at night, and you have to adjust the changes in light. So your side to side visibility is significantly reduced because it's no longer visible at night versus if you're able to actually see during the day. So when it comes to glasses, if you're wearing prescription glasses to drive, you want to make sure your glasses are clean and clear of scratches, because dirty or scratched glasses can magnify or drastically increase glare at night. So wearing sunglasses during the day will help you to reduce the eye strain from the sun. And this will help you see better at night and make sure that transition from day to night is so much easier. Night driving will be so much easier if you use shades during the day. But remember, never wear sunglasses at night. And then when it comes to oncoming vehicles, look at the right side of the road and watch that white line. So that way you're not distracted by the glare of the other driver's vehicle. For example, at 55 miles per hour, a vehicle covers 150 to 160 feet in 2 seconds. So that is extremely dangerous to not know what's around you at night in that period of time. So always be mindful of that. And then avoid fatigue. One of the biggest hazards of night driving is fatigue. Fatigue can delay your reaction time to hazards, and it drastically increases blurred vision. So some signs can include drowsiness, yawning, loss of visual focus, drooping head, stiff neck, weaving or swerving from lane to lane. So all of these are types of fatigue. So fatigue is extreme tiredness that really leads to and results from a mental, emotional, or a physical exertion or illness. So with fatigue, that's why, especially at night, because as human beings, we are accustomed and used to sleeping at night. So that's why fatigue or being extremely exhausted or tired happens more at night. And then always stay alert. So make sure you are well rested and alert, and keep your vehicle cool to help avoid any drowsiness, and also stop at regular intervals. So every couple hours to rest or to stretch. And you want to pull over to a safe location to get some sleep if you are tired. And then there's 3 major driver factors to keep in mind of as you are driving on the road. So you have vision, glare, and fatigue, and lack of awareness. Vision usually is difficult to see sharply at night. That's why eyes need time to see during dim light. Then you have glare. So glare, the bright light can actually blind a driver for a short period of time. That's why you want to avoid from directly looking at that light. And then fatigue and lack of alertness. So if you feel sleepy, just get off the road safely. Hey, BET Trainer here. Listen, if you really had true value out of this video, go ahead and click that like button and share some honest comments about this video, because this is going to help other people as well see the video and get the value information, so that way they can be inspired by what you're doing right now as well. So also, if you want to get the latest updates, go ahead and click the subscribe button, so then you can be able to always be updated on the next instant video that will be put out. So again, go ahead and do that. And this video was sponsored by BET Life Services and CDL for Life.